Happy Friday. It's nice to see you all. This virus is definitely really taking everybody over. And the fact that you show up on your mat and you're here, I want you to know I'm grateful to practice with you all. If there's any time as ever, now is the time to really try to let go of everything that's happening in the world outside of right now, and really focus on just being present here. Honor yourself that way, because this short amount of time we have together will really help you clear the space and let things come as they come, and the layers add on. It will help you move through that. It will help you unpeel those layers, or maybe take them with a little more a less sense of stress and maybe a little more calmness, even though there really isn't a lot of calmness out there right now. So I invite you to find your calmness this morning and do what it takes to get there. So let's begin in child's pose. Bring the sides of your big toes together and your knees as wide as your mat. And then sink your hips back towards your heels and bring your arms forward if that's comfortable. And if this isn't comfortable, you can always put a block underneath your seat, between your seat and your heels. But find some comfort in this pose. Let go of any struggling or any tension that you might have. And just take a few minutes to kind of like introduce yourself to your body. So you do that by using your breath and releasing down into the mat. Just surrender down. And if I could, I'd come around to every one of you and place my hands on your lower back and give you that little nudge that we all need, that comforting, like, I got you, you're going inward nudge, right? See, when you inhale, when you fill up and you exhale, see if you can ground down a little bit more in this pose. And then go ahead and come up onto your hands and knees. And press right up into downward facing dog pose. So your fingers, take a look at your fingers. You want your fingers spread slightly, just enough so that there's no creases in your wrist. And you want your pointer fingers at 12 o'clock. So ground down through your hands here and pull your belly center in and up, drawing your tailbone toward the back of the room, making length, getting length in your spine. And then, good morning, Martin. And then from here, try to just send your heels toward the mat. If they're not on the mat, it's fine. But think of that action of letting them sink toward the ground. And take 3 breaths here, starting to listen for that Ujjayi breathing. So inhale. Exhale through your nose. Inhale. Exhale, maybe grounding down a little more in your feet and your hands. Inhale. Exhale. Now inhale your right leg up behind you. Bend your knee and roll your hip open. So fan your right toes and really try to send your right heel towards your bum cheek. So open up toward the side for 3 breaths. So pressing into your mat, softening between your shoulder blades here, and finding that stretch, that long stretch all the way through your toes. Span your piggy toes. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale your foot back down to the mat into downward dog. Reestablish your down dog. And then inhale your left leg up behind you. Bend your knee and roll open at your hip. Maybe getting a little more space in your side bodies here. So pressing into the earth, away from your mat. Inhaling, drawing that knee up toward the ceiling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Last one, inhale, find a little more length, and exhale your foot down to the mat, back to downward facing dog pose. Bend your knees, look forward, and just walk your feet to your hands for ragdoll forward fold. So start with your feet. You want your toes at 12 o'clock. So you want your toes pointing forward with 12 o'clock being the top of your mat. And then go ahead and catch opposite elbows or biceps here. And let there be a softness in your knees. So rather than hinging back, try to come to the middle, your foot. Try to find your middle ground, your center of gravity here. Now let your head go. And feel free to create a little bit of movement here. Sway from side to side maybe. Sometimes I even like to take my hands and wrap them behind my head and then interlace my hands, and then take your elbows around your ears and just hang. Let the head be heavy. And then let these first poses help you transition into your body. So let these first poses just bring you present, and your Ujjayi breath is active here. So pull the pit of the belly in and up. Keep a slight bend in your knees here. And then go ahead and curl slowly up to standing, sweeping your arms around and up to the sky. Everybody bring their arms up. Now look up. Press your palms together and bring your hands to your heart center. And close your eyes. Lift your sternum to your thumbs here and draw your shoulders down your back. And then pull your belly center in and up so you're long through your side bodies here, and your quadriceps are lifting and your feet are pressing into the earth. With your eyes closed, we're going to take 1 Om. So inhale here. Exhale. And then the next one will inhale and exhale. Om. Now stay here. Keep your eyes closed a second. And just take a moment to set your own personal intention for your practice this morning. Whether it's what we talked about at the beginning, which is that sense of calm, let that sense of calm envelop you this morning. Or maybe there's someone that might need some extra energy or love this morning. Go ahead and send them something. I'm waving to everybody. Annie, did you need to say something? Okay. So from here, gently open your eyes. Breathe out and release your hands to your sides. And then inhale, extended mountain pose. Reach up and long. Exhale, bend your knees and dive forward over your thighs. Keep a softness in your knees here. Uttanasana. Lift your hips a little higher maybe. So that might mean you need to bend your knees more. And then inhale, place your hands to your shin bones for Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. And it's here that what you want to do is keep a softness in your knees so you're not pressing your legs straight and locking your knees. So keep a softness in your knees. And this is an extension of the spine pose. So let your neck be long. Draw your chin in a little. Good. Nice, Kendra. Nice adjustment. And then from here, release to your forward fold, letting it out. Inhale, rise to stand. Sweep your arms around and up to the sky. Exhale, go right back over. Dive, bow, Uttanasana. Starting to flow. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine, keep your chin neutral here. So draw your chin back in line with your neck a little more. Good. Let your dristi, your focus here, be straight down in front of you. So at the top of like a triangle. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep to standing. Sweep your intention in and pull it all back to your heart center. Again, inhale, sweep your arms around and up to the sky. Reach high. Exhale, dive over your thighs. Halfway lift and lengthen your spine. Bend your knees and plant your hands, stepping back into a high plank. And everybody hold your high plank. We're going to hold it for 5 breaths. If you need to, drop to your knees. So right away, ground down through your hands and draw your shoulders to your back. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. Press your heels to the back of the mat. So engage your legs. Your legs are strong and active here. Think about lifting your hamstrings toward the sky. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Either come to your knees. Go ahead and drop to your knees. Let's all do that. And come down to knees, chest, and chin. And then pressing into upward facing dog from here. Drawing your shoulders back to the back of the room. Opening up your heart center. Nice. Exhale, back to downward facing dog pose. 3 breaths here. So inhale. Exhale, you're getting longer in your spine, in your hips. Inhale. Exhale, pressing the mat away from you. Inhale. Exhale, look forward, bend your knees, and just walk your feet to your hands. Halfway lift and lengthen. Forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Root down, reach up high, look up. Beautiful, Sam. Exhale, dive over your thighs. Halfway lift and lengthen, drawing the crown of your head toward the front of the room. Exhale, come into high plank. And you can do what we did before, which is drop to your knees, or you can lower into low plank from here. And then upward facing dog, back to downward facing dog. Inhaling, pressing your hands into the mat, feeling grounded, setting your eyes to one spot at the back of your mat. Inhale, sending the breath to the side bodies as well as long ways. So all around, send the breath everywhere. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, empty out, look forward, and step or float your feet to the top of the mat. for your halfway lift and lengthen, forward fold. Inhale, extended mountain pose. Reach up. Exhale, dive right back over your thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sit low, reach high for chair pose. Utkatasana. So Utkatasana, sit your hips down, reach your arms up by your biceps. Curl your pinky fingers in slightly. And instead of sitting forward, you want to keep your spine in that Tadasana spine. So there's no need to shift forward like this. Try to keep your spine upright and sink your hips lower. Now check out your feet. If you're clenching your toes, if you're clenching your jaw, sit a little lower. Good, Martin. Reach your arms a little higher. Using your breath, exhale, dive over your thighs, over you go. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine here. Get the length. Exhale, plant your palms. Nice, Annie. High to low push-up. To upward facing dog. Good, Lynette. Draw your heart center forward, your shoulders back, and now press into downward facing dog. Extend your right leg up behind you, long. Now square your hips off. So flex your foot and square your hips. Good, Celia. Look forward and with control, bend your knee, pull your belly, your knee towards your belly, like hollow out as you step your right foot up to your hands. Good. Warrior one pose. So set your foundation. Your front foot's at 12 o'clock. Your back foot, Celia, put your back foot on the mat for warrior one. So press your heel to the mat. Nice. Good. And then starting with the feet, feel the earth and start to ground down into your mat. So what you want here is you want that inner thigh of the left inner thigh lifted so the weight is on the back edge of the left foot. And now everybody sink your hips lower, come lower. Nice. Now if your arms are up, you want your arms to be straight and you want power in your upper body. So grounding down from your hips down and then extending up through your pelvis up. You're lifting up. There's this energetic lift. Breathing, and then if you want, you can take your gaze up or you can keep it straight ahead, but take it to one spot and breathe. Hear your breath. Inhale. Maybe you go a little deeper on your exhale. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. With control, lower your hands to the mat and step back into high plank. You can do a one-legged high plank here if you want. And then low plank. Upward facing dog, drawing your arm bones back, your shoulders back, pressing into downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up behind you, square your hips. See what happens to your shoulders when you do that. See if you can square your shoulders to the mat. Draw your leg down a little bit, everybody. So you want it not so high. You want to draw it like a straight, yes, good. And then from here, bend your knee, curl it into your chest as you step forward for warrior one pose. Nice control. Then inhale, rise. Now feet, where are your feet? Think about your foundation here. So if you're clenching your big toes, unclench them. Your back toes, you want the weight on the back foot. I like when people start taking off their clothes here. We're getting the tapas going, right? We're getting the tapas. But after you take your clothes off, we're gonna sit here for 3 breaths. So inhale, really get long in your side bodies, and exhale, bend in deeper in that front knee. Let the tension go in your face and your eyes. Let there be a softening there. Inhale, get long, and exhale, ground down into the earth. Inhale, think about your hips squaring to the front of the mat. That's the intention. Exhale, go lower. And then inhale, release down to the mat for vinyasa. Low plank, sweeping into upward facing dog, exhaling into downward facing dog. Really rooting down and catching your breath here, like maybe taking a sigh. No one can hear you. I can't hear you. So make whatever noise you need to make. So inhale and like, just let it out. Let the layers peel away. Inhale. Exhale. Now inhale, close your mouth and exhale back into that ujjayi breathing. Look forward and step or float your feet to the top of the mat. Nice, Amy. Halfway lift and lengthen. Forward fold. Chair pose. Sit your hips low, reach high, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Over you go. Halfway lift and lengthen. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Now we're flowing here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, look forward and step your right foot to your right thumb. Warrior one pose. Root down, reach up, maybe look up, maybe go back. Exhale, release to the mat. Chaturanga. High plank, and low plank, and then chaturanga. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up behind you. Step it forward. Warrior one pose. Inhale, rise, reach up. Exhale, release. Back down to the mat. High plank to low plank, upward facing dog, pressing into downward facing dog. At any time, you can drop your knees to the mat. At any time, you can come into child's pose here too. So remember, that's always available for you. Now soften down. Where can you soften? Inhale, exhale, press your air out, look forward and step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Draw your shoulders back, extend your spine, and then forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, sit down, reach high, Utkatasana. Exhale, over you go, bow down. Your hips high. Halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Come into a high plank. So stack your shoulders over your wrists. Pull your pit of your belly in and up and press your heels to the back of the mat. And then we're coming into side plank. So spin your heels to the right and open up to the left. And if you need to, you can take your left foot in front of you, or you can drop your right knee to the mat. But lift your hips up to the sky and try to stack your shoulders so you're turning up and open. And that hand that's rooted, there's a slight bend in the elbow, so you're not locking the joint. So you're activating the muscle here more. And if you want, you can take your gaze up. Stay with me. Inhale. Exhale, release back to the mat. Come through vinyasa. pressing into downward facing dog. Step your right foot up for crescent lunge. Now here, stay low. Everybody stay low. Stay low. Crescent lunge. Your right foot is forward. And you're on the heel, you're on the ball of your back left foot. And find the earth, find the grounding down first before you take your arms up. So lift and spread your front right toes. Press into, come forward maybe on the ball of your back foot. Everybody tends to hang back. Come forward a little bit so you draw your heart center forward. Now grounding down, start to hug your inner thighs in toward your center. Find the strength, the stability in this pose. And there's action in that back leg. You're lifting your back hamstring up to the ceiling. So with that action, bring your hands to your hips. And it's a balancing pose. So you want to make sure you have a wide enough stance in your feet. And then from here, refine the pose. So draw your belly center in and up. And you're really working your left glute here. And you're hugging into your center line. And then when you've got that, then take your arms up to the sky and feel the extension in your side body when you do that, right? So you're bending into that front right knee, you're extending your arms up, and you're getting long through your side body. Now slightly turn your pinky fingers in so your shoulder blades pin onto your back, and there's more space in your neck. I want more space in your neck, in your body here. Bend in deeper and use your Ujjayi breath. Breathing, inhale. Exhale. Where is your gaze? Where's your focus today? Can it be here, just right now? Inhale. Exhale. Press your palms together and bring them to your heart center. And set yourself up to twist. So before you twist, I want you to come long. Like maybe press off that back left foot a little more. Get long, and then on your exhale, twist. So you want to get the length first, and then twist. Nice, Celia. Good. And from here, if you want to open your arms, you can. Or you can keep your palms pressing into one another. And where's your gaze here? Just steady your gaze. If you have a steady gaze, your mind is calm. And if you're listening to your breath, it helps to keep you present. So make your breath the music today. But I want slow, even breathing. And then go ahead and staying low, come into warrior two pose. So spin your arms up and around for warrior two. Front foot, right foot at 12 o'clock. You're on that back left pinky side of that left foot, the back edge. Lift that inner thigh up and back. Now drop down deeper in your right knee. And then everybody try to pull your tailbone in toward the set in more, because I feel like your ribs are popping out. So knit those front ribs together. Use your belly center here. Good. Now drop in deeper and bend your right arm for extended side angle. Good. Open up, and then your gaze, you can look up at your fingertips here. Your Dristi, open your heart to the sky here. Nice binding. You can bind here if you want. Nice, Annie. And then go ahead, exhale, release with control. Release back down and come through vinyasa. Let that press it out, downward facing dog. And then come to your high plank and hug into your center line. So draw your thumb tips together, draw your shoulders down your back, pull your belly center in and up. When you draw your shoulders down your back, it's like your thoracic spine. There's a little dip there. You want that. You want that softening there. Now, use your quadriceps. Use your legs in this pose. And then spin your heels to, nice, to the right. Good. And open up. I'm getting my right and left confused. So we're here. You're spinning your heels to the right and opening up, right? And then side plank, ground down through the hand in the mat, but bend your elbow a little bit so you're not locking it. And you can always modify by bringing a knee down or your foot in front of your knee. Good. Press up to the ceiling, Celia. Nice. Yes, yes. Exhale, release with control back to the mat with control and lower through your vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, pressing into downward facing dog. Inhale and then sigh it out. On your exhale. Extend your left leg up to the sky. Look forward and step it up for crescent lunge. And don't come up yet. So set your foundation here. Look at your front left foot. Lift your toes, spread them even. And then make sure you're on the ball of your back right foot. And hug your inner thighs in here for the balance action, for the get tight here. Hug everything in to lift up. So go ahead and come on up and then lift up and expand out your fullest expression. So lift and open here. Really using your legs. Send that back right quadricep up to the sky, the back right hamstring up to the sky. Flex your foot. Press through your heel. Annie, can you straighten your arms a little more? And then if you want to, you can look up or maybe back even, a little bit of a back bend. And then bring your hands, your palms to your heart center and twist to the left. If you feel like, look at your toes. If they're gripping, let them soften here. So ungrip your toes, soften your face. Tap into your Ujjayi breathing here. Send the breath through the whole side bodies, through the feet, out through the head. Send the breath there. If you want to, you can go ahead and open your arms. Nice, Christy. And then you can look up at your fingertips or you can stay right here, but your neck needs to be neutral. No craning the neck or forcing the gaze. And then where are you right now? Where can you go a little deeper in this pose? Where can you hug into your center line and stay present? And then windmill your arms around for warrior two. So take your right arm around, maybe readjust your feet here. So I like my front left heel in line with my back arch, my back right arch, and then come into the pose. So there's that hugging into your center here. You're drawing your everything in and up through the crown of your head, and your arms extend long, right? In one long plane. Now drop your shoulders down. Sometimes I even like to flip my right palm up or whatever hand's in the back and then turn it back over. So flip it up and then turn it back over, and I just feel the shoulder blade pressing into my back, and your arms are working. They're just like your legs. They're strong. You rely on your arms. Now bend in deeper in your knee, and everybody pull your knit those front ribs in a little. So like you had a, I came around and like took my fingers and did this to remind you to use your belly center. Pull your belly center in and up and knit your front ribs together. Come in a little deeper and breathe. So on your inhale, you find the length up through the crown of your head. On the exhale, you find the grounding down, releasing. And then from here, bend your left forearm and place it on the top, your top thigh, or you can place it on the floor or a block and reach your arm up for extended side angle. And you can play here. You can take the right arm and wrap it around. Nice, for a half bind, or you can do a full bind. Beautiful. Opening up your heart center to the sky. Some of you have amazing views that you can actually just feel. You feel like, I feel like I'm at the beach in one view right now. It's a nice feeling. Open up. And then exhale, release down to the mat with control. Come through vinyasa. So high plank, you can always skip the vinyasas, to low plank, upward facing dog, pressing into downward facing dog. Look forward and step or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Sit down, reach high. Press your palms together and twist to the right. Keeping your knees on one track, so drawing that left hip back in space, lifting and spreading your toes. Good, your feet are parallel to one another. Nice, Martin. If you want, you can open your arms here. And if anybody wants to play with side crow here, go for it. You can take, if your arms are up, you can take your right arm. Beautiful, Amy. You can take your right arm and wrap it around your back. You're drawing the crown of the head forward. Nice, Amy, beautiful. Good, Annie. Exhale, release, forward fold. Heel toe your feet apart and catch your big toes with your peace fingers, bending your knees, making space in your low back. Bend your knees, inhale, get long. Now this is like that halfway lift, that Ardha Uttanasana feeling. So draw your shoulders down your back and let your gaze come to one spot and then hug in, fold forward. Exhale, hug in. Nice. Lift your hips up a little higher. If that means bending your knees more, do it. Let your elbows come out to the sides and breathe. You should really all be hearing your breath unless you're, even if you have music on, you should be hearing your breath. You're in a forward fold here. You should hear that Ujjayi. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, your hips go a little higher. Exhaling, you hug in a little more. Inhale, exhale, release your feet, heel toe your feet together, and sit down for Utkatasana, chair pose. Bring your hands together at above and pull them to your heart center, and then twist. And then again, make sure that your knees are on one track. You're grounding through all four corners of your feet. And then if you want to, again, play with side crow, feel free. If you want to open your arms here, do a half bind. Nice, Christy. Beautiful. Where can you sit a little lower? A little lower. Sit your hips a little lower. Nice, Martin. Press your shoulder blades into your back. Exhale, release. Heel toe your feet apart. Flip your palms over and slide them under your toes for gorilla pose. So bend your knees as much as you need to here. And you want your feet a little like hips width. And then good, Kendra, that was beautiful. So what she did is she found her extension. So she hugged in, and then you find your extension. Refine your pose. So find your extension, by lifting up, lengthening your side bodies, and then hugging in more, lifting your hips up to the sky. Now let your head go and your shoulders soften. Let it go here. Soften in. Where can you soften? Shake your head, yes. And then maybe shake it, no. Let the neck be free here. And go ahead and release your hands from under your feet, and then step your feet together, sides of your big toes touching, and curl up to standing. You can keep your knees bent. Sweep your arms around, take up space, up to the sky. With your arms in the sky, eagle pose. So ground down through your left foot. Take your right arm under your left and your right knee over your left leg. And it's here, that hugging into your center line feeling. And again, your torso, you're in Tadasana spine here, right? So your torso's extending tall. You're not here. You're keeping your torso straight and up like in Tadasana. So drop your shoulders down, hug in, and let your drishti be at right through your arms at one spot. Pull your belly center in and up. Use your belly center. Exhale, slowly with control, release your arms and your legs. And then inhale your arms back up to standing. Ground down, find the earth with your right foot. So really engage that right leg, right? Then take your left arm under your right and your left leg over your right, and sit your hips down. Your toes can be behind your calf. They can be on the floor like a kickstand, but I want you to keep your spine long. I want that Tadasana spine. So soften through your shoulder blades here. Press your shoulder blades on your back. Good. And hug into your center line, hugging in. Now lift your elbow points up a little higher and press your wrist, the sides of your hands toward the front of the room more, opening up behind the shoulders. Breathing here. And then exhale, release slowly. Inhale your arms around and up to the sky. One more time, eagle, right side. Just without overthinking of it, just go straight into the pose. Exhale, release. Sweep your arms around and up to the sky. And then left side, eagle. Left arm under, left leg over. Keep your foundation rooted, coming from that foundation, hugging in, hugging those thighs together, keeping your spine in Tadasana spine. So soften your shoulders and soften your face. Press into the standing leg, the foot that's on the leg, on the floor. Exhale, release. Sweep your arms around and up. And then take your hands to your hips. Leave your left hand on your left hip and catch your knee with your right hand. Press into the earth. So hug like that left leg in toward the center, and hug that right knee up to your chest. And then you can open up the right knee to the right. If you want, you can take your left fingertips to the left and take your gaze over your over your left hand. But stand tall, Tadasana spine. Ground down through your left foot. It's a balancing pose. So find that gaze, that dristi, one spot, and listen for your breath. Try not to lock your left leg. So there's a micro bend in that knee. Now bring your knee to center. Place your hands on your hips and extend your leg out in front of you. And then go ahead and sweep it back for airplane pose. So extend the right leg back and the right fingertips toward the back of the room. And then your head is long and your gaze is out in front of you. Tuck your chin in a little bit. Good. Now reach your fingertips to the back of the room and really flex that right leg. Beautiful. Now where's the softness in your shoulder blades? Lift your shoulders up and away. Good. Nice adjustment. Good, Sam. Reach your fingertips back. Now bring your hands to your heart center and balance here. Your thumbs here. Nice, Amy. Good. Staying in your airplane. Breathing in. Exhaling out. One more. In. Exhale out. And go ahead and release that foot to the mat. And come back up to standing with your feet together. Other side. So grounding down, catch your right hip with your right hand and your left knee with your left hand. Hug in and up. And be tall here, right? So everything's lifted, even the crown of your head. And then take your left knee out to the side. And your right arm out to the right. And you can stay here if you want. Or you can take your gaze to the right. But your right arm, firm it up. Firm up that right arm. And press your shoulder blade into your back. Pull your belly center in and up. And draw your knee to center. Back to center. Place your hands on your hips. And extend your leg out long in front of you. Flex your foot. Flex it. Good. Get tall. Draw up to the crown of the head and ground down through the right foot into the earth. And then, with control, sweep it back behind you for airplane pose. Nice, Martin. Now really draw your fingertips to the back of the room and let the softness between your shoulder blades happen. Like there's that up dog feeling here. You're going up. You're like an airplane ready for takeoff rather than going down. You want that lifting up. You want that lifting up from your chest, from your heart center up, drawing out through the crown of your head, really flexing your back foot. Now bring your hands to your heart. Good. And then exhale, release. Sweep your arms around, remembering your intention, right? And then pulling your hands to your heart center, grounding down through all four corners of your feet, hugging your outer shins in, lifting your pit of your belly up for tree pose. So get all one long line of energy, and then you can reach down for your right foot and place it on your left inner thigh, or you can keep it at the floor with your toe as a kickstand. Do what works for you here, but commit to what works for you. So if today it's a windy day for you and your trees all over the place, go with that. Don't fight it, go with it. So hug into your center, press the foot into the thigh or the calf, and the calf into the foot. Center line to reach up, to expand out. Anything you want with your arms today. But press that left foot back to the center line. And then you're drawing, you're actively, like your glutes are working here. So pull your belly center in and up so you get longer. Maybe go up, maybe go back. Maybe today's the day, right? Draw your shoulders down. And then if your arms are up, bring them back to your heart center and place your foot back onto your mat. Re-ground yourself, re-find your foundation, re-root. Connect your roots to the earth. And then tree pose left side. Take the left foot up into the right inner thigh, or the calf, or your toes on the floor. But wherever you are, if you've pressed your hip out, try to come back to your center line and then up and out. So you can leave your hands in namaste, or you can grow your tree, or you can reverse namaste. There's so many options here, but make it your fullest expression of your pose today. Side bodies. If your arms are up, lengthen through your side bodies and press your shoulder blades into your back. Beautiful. Maybe go up and back just for a moment, a millisecond. Exhale, press your hands back down, bring them back down and put your foot to the mat. And just stand in your mountain pose. So re-root, come to the top of your mat if you've wandered. Good. Inhale, sweep your arms around for extended mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, dive over your thighs. Remembering to soften your knees. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen your spine. Exhale, chaturanga. Coming into upward facing dog, sweeping into downward facing dog. Inhale your right foot forward for warrior one pose. So open up to warrior one. And then from warrior one, come right into warrior two. So from warrior one to two, you might need to readjust your feet. You want to maybe take your right heel over more so it's in line with your left back arch. It's okay to look. It's okay to look. And then lift and spread your right toes and dive in deeper with your right knee and extend the arms out and long. And then take your left hand down your left thigh and go back for reverse warrior. And then come up and straighten your right knee for triangle, pressing into the floor and then reaching with your right fingertips. Length first. Get your length before you bring your right fingertips to the shin, the block, the floor. Find length first. Make the space in your body. And then from here, Martin, can you bring your left arm up? Like, yeah, instead of, yes, beautiful, Martin, nice. Good, Kendra, can you bring your left arm more in line with your shoulder blade? So bring it forward a little bit, your left arm. Yeah, there, yes, good. And then inhaling, pressing your shoulders to the back. And then exhale, bend your knees slightly and let your left arm pull you to standing. Pivot your feet so you're facing the side of your mat. And I like to have a little bit of a pigeon toe in my feet. Place your hands on your hips and press your hips, literally press your hips down into the earth. Use your feet, activate your feet, and then feel that energetic lift up from the pelvis up through the crown of the head, and maybe go up and back, then tip forward for your wide-legged forward fold pose. So here, get your extension here, and then come forward. And you can place your hands on blocks, or you can place them on the mat, but wherever you are, you're pressing your feet into the earth, and there's this like hugging of your inner thighs in, and reaching your sit bones up and back to the sky, letting your head be heavy, come to the mat. And if you would like to go nice, Christy, into headstand, handstand, crow, find a wall, do some hops. Beautiful, Amy. Play here. Good. And then if your feet are up, bring them down, pressing into the earth. Take your palms and place them under your shoulders. And then inhale your hands up to your hips and come to standing with a flat, long back. Pivot your right foot around to face the top of your mat and step your left foot in and up for pyramid pose. Don't just dive into it. We all know this pose. All of you in this room, all of you in your rooms know this pose. So let's think about the way we go into it with the extension of the spine. So ground down into your feet. And you don't want to lock your front right leg. There's a micro bend. Place your hands on your hips and lift up and out of your pelvis. And maybe you go back, opening up your heart center, drawing your shoulders back. You go lift up, you go back, and then you come forward. And when I come forward, sometimes I take my hand on my right hip and I draw it back in space. So I try to keep my hips even. I get my extension. My neck is long. Then I either put my blocks, I have my blocks there, or you can drop your hands to the floor. But you want to get a long spine and then let your head go. And watch for the locking of the front leg. And take 4 breaths here, like 4 even breaths. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Where can you soften? Where can you release? Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Then go ahead and exhale. If your arms are up, bring them down to the mat. Bend your knee, your front right knee, and step back through vinyasa. Coming into high plank, to low plank, sweeping into upward facing dog, pressing into downward facing dog. Good. Step your left foot forward for warrior 1 pose. Inhale, rise to stand, and then exhale into warrior 2 pose. Setting up your feet. And then inhale, reverse warrior, right arm down your leg, left arm up to the sky. Exhale, straighten your left knee and slide into triangle pose. Getting your length, then letting your fingertips come to the ground or your block, and your right fingertips are this energetic lift up to the sky. And try to stack your shoulders on each other. And then your drishti, your focus. Where is it? Where can it be the most authentic in your neck right now? And then inhale, your right arm pulls you up to standing. You pivot your left toes around to the side of your mat. This time you can make a fist with your hands and like clasp them together, and that will draw your heart center up to the sky. So you lift up and go back, and then on your exhale, extend the spine long, and then drop in. Once you've found your length, drop into the pose, letting your palms come overhead, and really like draw into your center line with your feet. There's action in your feet and your legs. You're hugging into your center line. You let your head go. And again, if you want to get upside down here, you can. If you want to stay here, see where you can drop in deeper and surrender into the pose. Maybe bend your knees a little bit. Nice, Kendra. And then if your legs are up, go ahead and bring them down. And then bring your palms under your shoulders Then onto your hips, and with the flat back, come up to stand. Pivot your left toes around and step your right foot in and up for pyramid pose. And this time you want to think about squaring your hips off. So you'd like to draw your left hip back. So square your hips off to the front of the mat. So I even engage like my back right glute, my back right quadricep. Everything's engaged. My legs are firm and strong. And I place my hands on my hips, or you can do reverse namaste here, but you want to lift up and lengthen. Lift up and go back, and then lengthen forward from the crown of your head, then come into your fold. And you can keep your hands in reverse namaste, or you can bring them to your blocks. And then letting go, just letting it all go. Maybe bend that knee a little bit. Beautiful, Lynette. Release your toes, your jaw. And then go ahead and exhale, release, and come through high plank, come into high plank, and then lower onto your belly. So slowly, slowly, slowly come onto your belly. Turn a cheek to the mat. Extend your arms out long. You can have your palms face up if you want here. You can do what Annie's doing. You can do what Annie's doing and do some extra push-ups. And then from here, place your forehead on the mat and flip your palms over so your palms are facing down. Locust pose. So lift your legs, your shoulders, your torso off the mat, and the crown of your head. Good. The crown of your head comes forward to the front of the room, your fingertips to the back of the room, and you're softening in your shoulders. Nice. And good adjustment. Good, Kendra. Inhale, release. Inhale, get a little higher. Sorry, don't release. And then exhale, release to the mat and turn your opposite cheek to the mat. And you can bring your palms, you can flip them back over so they're facing up here. And hear your breath. And maybe feel your heart beating on the mat. And then go ahead and come back to your forehead. Flip your palms over. And this time, if you want to reach back for your hands and clasp them for locust pose, you can. So go ahead, reach back, and then inhale, lift everything up off the mat, your shoulders, draw your shoulder tips back. Let your chin come into your neck a little so you feel the extension behind your neck. Good. Lift up a little higher, kick your legs up, lift up. Exhale, release down. And then just remember, like when you're here, when you have the volume gauge to turn your nervous system down, and that's through your breath. So if it starts getting choppy and tension starts to arise, tap back into that breath. Tap into your power, your center. Place your forehead on the mat, bend your knees, and reach back for the tops of your feet or your ankles for bow pose. So lift everything up, lift up and off. Now kick your feet into your hands. Like use them as like a bow would, like as levers. So you press your feet away from your hands, right? And then draw your shoulders back, and keep your gaze can come up only if you can keep your neck long. and then release down. Place your palms, flip your palms over and place them down by your lower ribs. And come into upward facing dog. You're pointing your feet, so you're on the tops of your feet. Good. And then press into downward facing dog. And then come on to all fours. Our stability work here, so stay with me. From all fours, make sure that you're grounded down through your hands and you're on the tops of your feet. Your feet are pointed straight back. And then inhale your right arm up. You're gonna shake someone's hand. And then inhale your left leg up behind you. So opposite leg and opposite arm. And then find the extension here. Flex your left foot. Let your hamstring come up toward the ceiling and extend your right fingertips out long. So inhale, get long. Pull your belly center in and up and try not to lock your left elbow. Now take your right arm out to the right 90 degrees and your left leg out to the left. Flex your foot. This is your core, your abdominal work here. Breathe. Soften between your shoulder blades. Now come back to center. Draw your right arm back to center. Keep the left foot flexed. Extend longer. Lift up a little bit. For 3, 2, 1. Release your knee to the mat and your right palm to the mat. And simply just switch sides here. So extend your left arm out long and your right foot out long behind you. Creating one long line of energy from your fingertips to your toes. Flex your back foot. Lift that, engage that right glute. Pull your belly in and up and soften in your shoulders. So try not to jam in your shoulders. Ground down through your right hand. Lengthen your left fingertips. Lift up. Good. Now take your left fingertips to the left and your right leg out to the right. Pressing into the mat, using your belly. Pull your belly button in and up. Flex your right foot, holding it here. Come back to center. Extend long. Really engage that back right glute. Pull your belly up. Lift your left arm up maybe. Maybe look up. And then exhale your knee to the mat and come into child's pose. Separate your knees. And breathe. Slowing your breath down here. So inhaling, getting long. Exhaling, releasing into the mat, into the earth. Letting it go. And then go ahead and come up to hands and knees. And then cross your ankles and press yourself back to your seat. Extend your legs out long in front of you and come onto your back. And take your left foot flat to the mat, and take your right ankle up and over your left knee. Make sure you have length in your neck so you're not crunching. So draw your chin in and then lift your left foot off the mat. And you can wrap your hands behind your left thigh. And you don't have to. You can take your hand on your right knee and push it away. But you want to flex both feet. And the more you draw in your left knee into center, the more you can maybe open up the right side of your knee. Take 2 breaths here. Maybe lift your shin so it's parallel to the floor, really flexing your feet. And try not to let your shoulders come up. Try to let them soften into the floor. And then keep your left knee where it is. Release your hands and just simply cross your right knee over your left. And from here, you can hug your knees in toward your chest, or you can reach for your sides of your feet or your ankles and pull them towards you, flexing your feet, getting into your hips, keeping your neck long. And then release your feet. Keep your feet, your knees crossed. Place your left foot to the ground and simply just twist to your left. If you need to lift your hips up and slide them to the right, that's fine. And your gaze can be straight up at the ceiling or to your right fingertips. Twisting here. Softening your shoulders to the mat. And then go ahead and press your feet back. Press yourself back up to neutral. Uncross your legs and switch sides. So your left ankle comes over your right knee. You lift your right foot off the mat and you can reach back for the back of your right hamstring. You can press your left knee away from you as you draw your right knee in towards your chest, but flex your feet here and try to keep your right shin parallel to the floor. And then soften through the neck and shoulders and your face here. Try to keep your hips on the mat, both of your hips on the mat. And then release your hands and take your right knee over your left. Just keep your legs crossed. And from here, just go ahead. You can draw your knees in, hug them in, if that feels nice. Or you can reach for the tops of your feet or your ankles and pull them towards your face. And then release your feet. Place your right foot on the mat, keeping your legs crossed. You can lift your hips up to send them left for that twist, letting your left knee come over toward the floor. Your right arms can come out long. You can gaze over your left fingertips. Twisting here, rinsing. And then release this and hug both your knees into your chest for one big good hug. Hug in. And then extend your legs out and your arms out for Shavasana. So letting your palms fall open and your feet come apart and open. If you want to cover your eyes or get a blanket, feel free to get comfortable here. Just letting go to any of the residual holding on that you may have been doing. Letting it fall into your mat, into the earth. Feeling supported here. And then slowly start to bring some awareness into your body. So wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch your arms out, around, and overhead, getting long, enjoying all the new space you created. Bending your knees and hugging them into your chest and coming onto your side. I like to come to my right side, but whatever side's comfortable for you. And then press yourself up to a seated position, a comfortable seat, keeping your eyes closed and bringing your hands to your heart center. And your thumbs to your forehead center. I wish you guys all the calmness possible in your world today. And I appreciate you showing up and practicing with me. Namaste.